Chapter 52. The Church Triumphant.
In 1893, in meeting the charge that the church had become Babylon, Ellen G. White wrote, "The church, enfeebled and defective, needing to be reproved, warned and counseled, is the only object upon earth upon which Christ bestows his supreme regard." Testimonies to Ministers, page 49. The repeating of this thought on a number of occasions in subsequent years is encouraging and significant. The compilers. An oft-repeated assurance. The Father loves his people today as he loves his own Son. Someday it will be our privilege to see him face to face. Manuscript 103, 1903, written September 15, 1902. We should remember that the church, enfeebled and defective though it be, is the only object on earth on which Christ bestows his supreme regard. He is constantly watching it with solicitude and is strengthening it by his Holy Spirit. Manuscript 155, 1902. Trust to God's guardianship. His church is to be taught. Enfeebled and defective though it is the object of his supreme regard. Letter 279, 1904. Ever on gaining ground. The church is to increase in activity and to enlarge her bounds. Our missionary efforts are to be expansive. We must enlarge our borders. While there have been fierce contentions in the effort to maintain our distinctive character, yet we have, as Bible Christians, ever been on gaining ground. Letter 170, 1907. The evidence we have had for the past 50 years of the presence of the Spirit of God with us as a people will stand the test of those who are now arraying themselves on the side of the enemy and bracing themselves against the message of God. Letter 356, 1907. I write these things to you, my brethren, although all of you may not fully comprehend them. If I did not believe that God's eye is over his people, I could not have the courage to write the same things over and over again. God has a people whom he is leading and instructing. Letter 378, 1907. I am instructed to say to Seventh-day Adventists the world over, God has called us as a people to be peculiar treasure unto himself. He has appointed that his church on earth shall stand perfectly united in the Spirit and counsel of the Lord of hosts to the end of time. Letter 54, 1908. Nothing in this world is so dear to God as his church. With jealous care he guards those who seek him. Nothing so offends God as for the servants of Satan to strive to rob his people of their rights. The Lord has not forsaken his people. Satan points to the mistakes that they have made and tries to make them believe that thus they have separated themselves from God. Evil angels seek in every way to discourage those who are striving for victory over sin. They hold up before them their past unworthiness and represent their case as hopeless. But we have an all-powerful Redeemer. Christ came from heaven in the guise of humanity to live the principles of righteousness in this world. He was endowed with power to minister to all who would accept him as their Redeemer, to succor the repentant ones who were convinced of the sinfulness of sin. We have not an high priest which cannot be touched with the feeling of our infirmities, but was in all points tempted like as we are, yet without sin. Hebrews 4, verse 15. Letter 136, 1910.